even worthy of being a wife or a girlfriend or a mother. It's basically her story says you can be a piece of shit. You can be a liar. You can fuck your friend. The kind of woman who's gonna fuck her friends, man, that's wild. I'm trying to think the kind of dude who's gonna have sex with my girl. That's not a good person. You understand what I'm trying to say? No, she did that shit, and on top of that, when shit got crazy, and everything. You got a man locked up for 10 years, and then you went and lied to Gail King. Gail King asked you, did y'all have a physical relationship? Then in your documentary, you said, I know she gonna ask me that shit. Yeah, bitch, I lied to Gail King. There was no need to lie. Why would you lie? Why would you lie? You could have simply said, yes, me and Tori had an intimate relationship. She didn't ask you, did you, did you, give him a rim job, nothing like that. She didn't ask you. She didn't get that specific. She didn't ask you about your kinks and your fetishes. She just asked, was y'all physical? And you didn't answer the question truthfully. The reason why that's relevant is because this is a court case. You lied about an open court case publicly, and nobody did shit. That is black woman's dream. Is I can do whatever I want. I'm the sun god Nika. Okay, if you watch One Piece, you get that joke. Get it. So another reason why this is relevant is because again, everything that happens in this regard, right? Get to that table. If people have witnessed it on a mass level, same thing with Russell Wilson and Sierra, right? Even the good women will try to defend the shit because they understand that, well, if men think that this is okay, right, or they think that this kind of woman deserves a Russell Wilson, right? It sets precedent, and for one, it means we don't gotta be better, right? Not only that, am I going to get a man, right? I'm going to get one of the best men possible. What are the odds? First of all, it wasn't for Sarah being famous, she'll never be able to run into Russell Wilson. But you can very much see that, it's some men who can really enjoy the fantasy of having having a family, and it doesn't matter to them how they go about getting it. But the weird thing is, and again, and more that we dissect this shit, we understand. And again, a lot of black men will do this. It's a very insecure behavior to want to father other men's kids. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't form a relationship and be close to a woman's kids, I guess, right? But that only works if maybe you've been around since they was a baby and they've always known you, right? Like for example, with my young son, like he was around the guy that his mother was dating for a long time, and he known him since he was about 3 or 4 years old. So you know what I'm saying? So he was very small when he was first started coming around. He wasn't big, and here comes this random guy, right? Pause. So that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy.
Yeah, rich nigga, but it's cool though.
You know what I mean?
No, chill for what? Who is this nigga?
You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel listening to this.
A guy's die. Yeah. Die Fleur. Die Fieri, no? It's not making sense to you. Maybe I'm not even speaking English.
I'm speaking Guyanese, you understand? But anyway, women use everything as precedent, so they can use the situation to say, yo, it don't matter. It doesn't matter who I was in my last lifetime. Another thing too is you seeing the modern woman / 304 timeline play out right now, because it dawned on me watching this shit. I said, oh shit, you know what? Megan might really try to make this shit right. They really might. Now that I'm really thinking about it, they maybe can go all the way, right? If she can really make that, really just commit to the relationship, she can make this shit happen. Now, more than likely, I do think Klay should run, right? But I think Klay is trying to pull Russell Wilson because Kevin Samuels made an important point about Russell Wilson, which was that he had a white wife first, right? And he never really had a black card. He wasn't really acknowledged or even famous in the black community. Meaning that he wasn't like relevant to black people, right? And some black celebrities are like that. Like, yo, they were like the black community doesn't really know them like that, or they're not talked about and seen in a certain light. And he knew that being with Sierra, that raised his profile a lot. You know what I mean? Because again, Sierra is liked in the black community, right? By that point, by the time he got with it, she pretty much just had Future's son. It wasn't even like Future's son was that old. We wasn't like 5 or 6 years old. He was like a little boy. He was like a little baby, honestly. You know what I'm saying? And Russell even said, and again, this story that Russell tells about when he first seen Baby, and calling him Baby Future is crazy. What is that boy's name? It cannot be Future. It cannot be Baby Future. All right, this shit's weird, bro. But those are the kind of men, right, where they're so, I can't say whether they're so focused on their passions, but either way, they don't really care about these things. But to a certain degree, is being careless. It doesn't mean that this is how men should be. And in Klay Thompson's situation, right? I'm not saying I don't know how Megan treats him, right? But at the same time, a woman's past matters. But back to that timeline, though, right? Now, Megan Thee Stallion. Let's see, how old is Megan Thee Stallion now? How old is Megan Thee Stallion?
Years old.
30 years old, right there. Boom. Like we just seen India Love talking about she want a family and everything. I'm turned 30 years old. For a lot of millennial women, I think we can say Gen Z millennial women, that what they think is they're going to do is I'm going to wild out in my 20s and then I'm going to get serious at 30. Matter of fact, let's find that clip with India Love saying the same shit now. She's saying, I'm turning 30 this year. I want to get close to God. I want to have a family of my own, right? Now, India Love, and again, very much possible, a beautiful girl, and there's some nigga out there that's going to take that deal, right? Because again, don't get me wrong, really attractive women can definitely make that transition successfully. Because like, yo, when you're an attractive girl, it's always going to be some dude, because again, you'll always have value, you know what I mean? Especially if you got a good attitude, and especially if you can like not have no kids, right? Check it out. That's what I'm talking about right here.
Goal for 2026 is to be aligned with God's will for my life, and I've done a lot of doing what I wanted to do in my 20s, and in 2026 I will be out of my 20s and in the first chapter of my 30s. And with that being said, I want to be aligned with what God has for me and what God wants me to do with my life and my career and my platforms. I feel like I've done enough doing what I want to do just because I wanted to do it, for sure. Like, the only desire of my heart that's, like, solely for me, which God wants for me, too, is, like, you know, my own family and my own husband and shit like that.
And it was crazy. She gonna get it. If she can figure that shit out, she can figure out. Because a lot of women, they don't have the stamina, and it's mostly because it's all in your head. A lot of women have a losing mindset where they cannot commit to something and do the same thing every day. In their mind, they think that, it's going to be for a time. And that's why a lot of men, if you're smart, they starting to realize, like, for example, like, and I heard CJ phrase it this way earlier. He was saying he came to realize that the good part of the relationship is going to last for a time. Y'all relationship in general, for the most part, it lasts for a time. And it's better for a man to, again, have options, And again, that's mostly for men who can pull that shit off. Every man can't pull it off. Every man doesn't have the means. Every man doesn't have the options. Every man don't have the mindset, right? But I'm saying, but for the guys who can get women, like, yeah, you need to focus on what you gotta do. All right? And you have to really stop prioritizing relationships. Relationships are important for women. And listen, no one's saying that you gotta get married at 22 or nothing like that. But what you seeing right here, you seeing Megan Thee Stallion doing the same thing, right? Where now that I'm 30 years old, right? And again, nothing wrong with being 30, but 30 is not your prime. Megan Thee Stallion is an attractive woman who has money. Okay? An attractive woman who has money and good genes. For a lot of women, if they are average 30 years old compared to 22 years old, does not compare. It's not the same shit, right? Not only that, you're out of your childbearing years. Now, of course, women can still pull it off. It happens and everything, but it's not the best time. I never forget when I was 18. There was a girl that was a little bit older than me. I think she was like 21, 22, right? And we would talk because I think we used to take the same bus. She was a real cool girl. I think her name was Precious. And she said, I need to think about having kids soon. I'm gonna be 23. And at the time, like 23, you don't have to have kids at 23. And I didn't understand that she was talking from a more realistic standpoint. She wasn't talking from the how can I say, the perspective of someone who wants to quote unquote be in the streets forever. Because this is back in '05, where people still had more of a realistic idea of how to make it. Because the reason why a lot of people made it, the reason why there's even a black middle class is because people got together and stayed together. That's how it happened. Y'all both bring income. That's how it happens. You know what I mean? And when the man usually gets to be over 30, like for example, right? Let's say if I was still with my son's mother, if she would have just did what she had to do, right, and just supported me, by the time I hit 33 and everything, I probably would have made that jump before that. But basically, I would have been making good money, right? And she'll be able to rely on my money, and basically I will be able to pretty much pay all the bills. And she's hung on for, not so much hang on, but just play the part for a few more years, because a few years after we broke up, I got the job that I got now and everything, and it's been like a great investment. You understand? But and it's made to where I have the best base salary in the world. You understand me? So the way I see it is like, fam, only need to be remotely successful. Or somewhat successful with YouTube to make over $150,000 a year forever. Okay, I got so many ideas and ways to make money. Understand? But going back to this thing right here, we are not allowing we are not allowing this smooth rebrand, right? And somebody wrote over here too. It said your religion is always the final form. Meg is trying to go legit, fam. India Love is going legit. What will you do, modern man? What will you do? Anyway, subscribe to the channel. Love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for watching. We stayed to the end of the show. Peace.